Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. It has been a while since we've had some talking head, but this is my little journaling corner. And excuse the lighting, it is 8 p.m. at night. And I have been waiting for a certain set of circumstances to fall into place in order for me to have good lighting, film, have peace and quiet, and the energy. And I've realized that waiting for that exact formula of criteria to be able to film is not really ever going to happen when you have a newborn child, 2 toddlers, and just darkness setting in a lot faster in the day. So here we have it, a nighttime video. I hope you will get nice and cozy with me as I talk about my Techo Kaigi. Techo Kaigi is a planner meeting. Techo meaning planner, notebooks, journals, whatever you are using, and Kaigi meaning meeting or counseling. So I am going to be looking at my pile of notebooks behind me on my desk and just talking about what worked in 2024, what didn't work, and what my plans are for 2025. So let's get into it. We are here to talk about planners and Techo Kaigi, what's working and what my plans are for 2025. We first kind of need to know a little bit about my history with journaling, and that is I started with bullet journaling from 2017 to 2022, discovered Traveler's Notebook Company and fell in love with their system and inserts, and then really got to know more about other planners and small businesses from Instagram. If you haven't seen it already, I have a podcast about the planner season with planner releases and how to deal with that and the struggles of the planner release on social media. Sorry, that was a huge mouthful. If you want to hear about all the nuances of being on social media during the planner release season, and this is kind of my post-planner season talk podcast in response to that first one with a Techo Kaigi. So at the beginning of 2024, I had the most planned notebooks, journals, whatever you want to call it, for the year. And let's start with the graveyard. So this is my graveyard, along with some other things that I no longer have and own. This is the 2024 yearly notebook. It is a B6 and it is by Paper Test Designs. This is the full year and I really loved this layout. This was going to be my everything planner. It is a consecutive planner. It really reminds me a lot of bullet journaling, where it has the calendar page. You have a blank spread for whatever you want, and then you have your weekly followed by 7 blank pages to be used as dailies, and then you get into the second week, and then you have 7 daily pages. Then you get into the third week and 7 daily pages, so on and so forth, but it is consecutive. So it's not like 𝘍𝘪𝘯𝘵 where you have all the months, all the weeklies, and then the dailies all in divided sections. And I really loved that about this notebook. I really have no complaints about this planner. What my downfall was is I just had way too many dated things. So this is dated. My Traveler's Company inserts were dated. This Kinbor weekly was dated. This 𝘍𝘪𝘯𝘵 A6 is dated. And this 𝘍𝘪𝘯 5-year is dated. This I had planned for the beginning of 2024. And that is an absurd amount of daily journals and planners. And I did make a schedule and a system for myself, and I really thought I was going to be able to make it and pull through with it, but wowzers, that was a lot. Of course, everyone's lifestyle is different. We're all in different chapters of our lives, and I found out I was pregnant in February, and that's where all of these dated journals just fell by the wayside. I knew that there were some things I was going to regret not prioritizing, and so I decided to prioritize my 𝘍𝘪𝘯𝘵s, my photo a day journal. So this is my photo a day, and then my 5-year. I am in the first year of this 𝘍𝘪𝘠𝑰 5-year. I have 2024 to 2028. So I really knew I did not want to abandon or lose track of these two. So that meant giving up somewhere, and I think naturally my entries in my Travelers Company inserts just kind of fell off. This is the monthly for 2024, and let's see how far I got. So they start with December. I did January, and then nothing. February is when I found out I was pregnant, and I came down with morning sickness. Oh, let's see. I did, okay, I remember. I did continue in June and thought that I would backlog, because this is when I was in the middle of my second trimester now and had all my energy back and really wanted to get consistent with journaling again. But as you can see, that didn't happen the rest of the year. So my inserts look like that. They all stop at about the same time. This is the vertical, so it starts in December. I have the first 2 weeks of January, really sparse towards the end of January. This one was one of my favorite spreads. Then we get into February. I had a trip to Japan end of January, and then once I got back from Japan, I felt sick, and I wasn't sure if it was from traveling, but then I found out it's because I was pregnant. So yeah, it ends here just right after Valentine's Day, and it is empty until when I picked up my inserts again because I had energy. So I think I did like a test spread and used the last weeks here of June to see if it was something I wanted to do and move into the part 2 insert, which I did, and I decorated. And let's see how far I got in here. So I moved into part 2, June, 2 weeks, 3 weeks into July. Okay, finished all of July and fell off. Fell off in August. So that is what happened to me and how these journals kind of fell off. They are all related to some kind of lifestyle event. In February, I found out I was pregnant, picked up some energy again in my second trimester. We moved across country in June, early June, moved from Italy back to California, where I'm from, and just had a lot of summer events. Of course, my family and I were all very excited for us to move back home. My family was happy to see my kids because my son was born in Italy and was about to turn 2 at that point. So just a lot of family bonding and spending time with family. And so journaling fell by the wayside there. I loved daily journaling in 2023. It is one of my journaling accomplishments that I'm really proud of. And so when I dropped daily journaling in 2024, I felt a lot of defeat. I felt like a failure in my own personal journaling goals. I also felt like a failure in the sense that I had inspired so many people to daily journal. It was one of the most common questions that I would get in my DMs, and then to have abandoned it myself just felt defeating. And I love flipping through these pages right now. It's just beautiful to me to see all of this writing, to see that I had an outlet, and I really miss it. I will talk later on how I'm trying to get back to that, but currently, spoiler alert, I am not daily journaling. And looking at these pages, I really miss it, but I'm coming to terms that every kind and type of journaling has its purpose, has its season, so it's just not the time for me to daily journal right now. As beautiful as these pages are, I really loved this notebook. I was really tempted to get the Paper Test Design A6. She came out with an A6 size for 2025, exact same layout. It's just that she's releasing the A6 size for the first time, and I was so tempted because I really love that thing. I just know that I wasn't able to keep up with daily journaling in my tester planner. So not this one, but I tried in the summer. Again, as you can see here, you know, I picked these up during June. I tried to do daily journaling again in June, and they just didn't stick. So I learned a lot in 2024 that it's okay to let go of things as hard as it is. I don't think you can avoid disappointment. I think the best thing you can do is just try to plan and have some forgiveness and learn from it for the future so that there's less impulsive planner purchases, less unused planners, and really just trying to recycle what I can. So this last daily journal is my Kinbor Weeks. I really had never used a Weeks before. I just fell in love with this cover, and it was so inexpensive that I didn't really mind dropping it. So I didn't care to abandon this. I also was just forcing myself to use it because I loved it so much. I didn't really have a purpose for it. This, I think, was one of the last things that I impulsively added to my 2024 lineup. I still love the color cover. Wish I had a use for it. The week size is just not for me. These other two things, the Paper Test Design and the Traveler's Company inserts, were a lot harder for me to accept that I was going to abandon them. The Weeks one, not so much. As I mentioned and have shared, I've continued to stay up to date in my Hobonichis. I am very proud of this chunky girl here. This is my photo a day that I am keeping up with. I am going to continue this into 2025, so there is some spoiler there. For my Hobonichi A5, because I had so many dated planners and was memory keeping in all of them, I really didn't know how to add the 5-year into my lineup, but I knew I really wanted to. So I actually had every intention to draw in this 5-year. So I started in January with doodles, and my intention was to only doodle. But I knew, like, I should have listened to the red flags for myself that I don't draw. I don't know how to draw. I don't know why I committed to drawing every day when I don't even draw once a week. And so this was really hard for me to keep up with. I was backlogging maybe 2 weeks at a time. So I wasn't coming into this journal and opening it daily. I was procrastinating on doing it, letting it build up and accumulate, and then getting extremely overwhelmed and stressed about having to doodle 14 days in a row and try and fit it all in one sitting because I just wanted it done. But then it was this endless cycle of letting it accumulate, having too much backlog, getting stressed about it, and then feeling guilty about not doing it, and then forcing myself to backlog and stuff like that. So it's cute for a while, but I just know I really forced myself on this. And so I would write notes on what the drawings were because I feared that no one would understand what my drawings were, even though it is just for me. But even I wouldn't know what my drawings were about. So anyways, I think I got up to February, and this is where I just never filled it in, but I continued to feel guilty about having this journal and having quit already into the second month of the year. And so I decided, okay, I will backlog what I can remember, and then I will just start writing. And so that's what I did. I am up to date and have just started to write into it. This kind of gave me an outlet apart from, oh my gosh, I have a blank page. I don't know what's going on there. This kind of gave me an outlet to daily journaling. It's pretty much daily journaling. It's just not the kind of daily journaling I wanted to do. So my previous 𝘍𝘪𝘯𝘰 for daily journaling is more of a Dear Diary. It's where I can release any emotions. It doesn't necessarily have to be memory keeping, but I want my 5-year journal to be something my family can enjoy. And so I did find some days in here that I was releasing personal emotions and having some bias towards my personal life, and it's not something I want my family to go back and read. And so I thought, why don't I try daily journaling again? And this way it is for me. I had this notebook that I set up for the beginning of 2024. It is a blank notebook, but I thought I would try my hand at Commonplacing, and it failed. I think I did about 2 or 3 entries of trying to commonplace just things that I want to write down and reference. So for example, I have here information about how to start homeschooling, and then I have information about my past journals. I have information about I think my husband's teeth grinding, like so random. I think I don't even know what to say. And then I had information here about my fountain pen purchases, because I was putting that in a lot of different places and I wanted to be able to reference it. And then I hadn't used this for a good part of the year, and then I realized, you know what, I'm just going to recycle this notebook, try to do daily journaling again, but not every day, just really when I need emotional release. So basically was going to make this my Dear Diary journal. It went well for a few days. Not that I have to write in it often. I thought that I would at least write in it a few times a month, but I had decorated for October, wrote a few times, and then haven't been in it since. So nothing for all of November, and the time I'm filming this now is December 1st. So this isn't completely a flop. I just don't know if I can do this type of journaling, but I myself am disappointed that I didn't keep up with this. I am going to keep it to continue to be a place for me to diary journal when I need it, but this was my attempt to not be so personal and biased in my 5-year journal. So it still stands. I still find myself kind of emotionally dumping in my 5-year, and I don't want that. So this monologue right now is just kind of a reminder that I have this for myself. So we're slowly getting into this next pile. Again, this is my graveyard and what didn't work. This is technically part of that graveyard, but I've then since recycled it. This next one here is my Midori One Day One Page, and I actually started this in 2023 as a collage journal, and this is actually a 2022 version. I really didn't care for what version I had. I just knew that because it's undated, I could use it for however long I wanted and needed it for, but I have not added a single collage, I think, in here. Oh, that's a lie. February 2020 or December 2023, February 2024, and that's it. Okay, so I must have made this right when I got some Happy Mail, because all of this is pen, paper, planner, and then found out I was pregnant and probably stopped, just like that graveyard pile. So this is something that I really thought I was going to get into for 2024 and have not. It is not exactly a fail, but also just something that I bit too much off of what I could chew. Is that the saying? That sounds so wrong. Anyways, again, part of the pattern of, you know, it's not a fail. I could still continue it, but I just didn't have the time this year. So I am going to keep this and just have it available for myself for 2025. Okay, so we've talked about these. These are kind of in that same category of didn't fail, but still open for me for whenever I need it. So it's a nice option to have. So one of the things I had at 2024 You might have noticed this page earlier, but it was my lineup page, my 2024 lineup. So we talked about this, there's a number 1 here for paper test designs. This is this notebook. We talked about that already. Number 2 here, Travelers Company vertical inserts. We talked about that and why they got abandoned. Then we have number 3, the Kinbor Weekly. Talked about that. Then we get into the 𝘍𝘪𝘯𝘰 A6 Techo, which I am currently active in. 𝘍𝘪𝘯 5-year, another journal that I was able to keep up with. Talked about the Nanami Cafe Note and how I've recycled that now. And then the Midori A6 1 Day 1 Page, which is still available for me. So last but not least, in what I thought was going to be my 2024 lineup was a rings planner, an Eternal Leather Goods Franklin Covey Compact. I thought I was going to move into rings, fall in love with rings, and make it my home reference and management planner. Well, I do not have that here. I still actually own the rings planner. Side note, if anyone is interested, I have been trying to sell it for the latter half of this year and it has not sold, so you can message me or leave a comment if you're interested in Eternal Leather Goods FCC rings planner. So I guess that's 8. So I really thought I could manage 8 planners for 2024. So here I have my plotters. This kind of replaced what I thought was going to be with the FCC. What ultimately was the problem with the FCC was that the rings were ginormous for what it was holding. This is all I really need for a rings planner. It's funny because a lot of people were trying to convince me to go plotter for rings, and I just kept saying, no, I think 80 pages, which is the max of plotter paper it can hold, is too little for me. Well, lo and behold, I had maybe 5-10 sheets of paper in that Franklin Covey compact rings planner for 4 months. I think March, April is when I accepted that the FCC size was not for me and that I should probably give plotter a try. And so this was the first plotter that I got, and I converted it to be my finance tracker. So I had a dear friend create this insert for me. I kind of just sent her what I was looking for, and I use this for my finance tracking. This is just an example, but I do have, maybe not, of me actually using it. This is the monthly page, and then I have some daily spending logs. I guess I didn't do July. I don't know how well I was doing this in the summer. And apparently not so great in the fall, because all of November has just passed and I know that I didn't track our finances. So something that I wish I could keep up with, but as you can see, I'm obviously not keeping up with it. But in a perfect world and my ideal journal lineup, I would keep up with this, because this is something that I actually do really rely on. I'm, as you can tell, a paper and pen kind of girl. I need to write it down for it to mentally stick into my brain. So this is what this plotter is. So that attempt of having a rings home management planner didn't exactly die, but you can see that I'm not exactly keeping up with it. So this is a plotter that I acquired the later half of the year. And this is my homeschool planner. It's also my Bible study notes planner, I guess. I forgot that I did this. But I have my kids' homeschool stuff in here. Just trying to figure out what's working for us. This is my first year homeschooling my kids. And then here, just some entry pages for me to write down how I'm feeling and how I think homeschool is going for me. And then I do have some reflection pages for how I think homeschool is doing for my kids. So in a sense, I was able to continue and do what I planned to in Rings Planner, with it being my home management system. I do actually really enjoy using the plotter ring system. it's been a while since I've held and opened these, and doing so now in my Techo Kaigi has reminded me how much I really do enjoy these in my system. So this is something I need to actively work on, because this is business to me. I don't have a job. I'm a stay-at-home mom. So everything for journaling everywhere else is for fun. It's for creative release. It's for memory keeping. It's for story memories for my children, for my family. It's very emotional and heartfelt. Whereas this is all business, but fun, because I put it in a fun way. And so if I think I just need to remember that I can have fun doing business stuff, because I have a very nice, cute system to a very expensive system. But I do want to work in those a little bit more. So that is the history of my 2024 and the background of where I'm going into for 2025. So I am going to continue my photo a day. Actually, I should start with my 𝘍𝘠𝘠𝘰, because this is my first year in 𝘍𝘠𝘠𝘰 for 2024. I'm obviously going to continue as much as I can and stay up to date here. So I will be in my second year of 𝘍𝘠𝘠𝘰. I'm really excited, because this is where everyone says the magic happens. Everyone has the same sentiment that the first year seems like a chore with the 𝘍𝘠𝘠𝘰 5-year. It's the second year and so on where you start to really see the magic of a 5-year journal. And that's because you can do your entry, but also read what happened last year. And I think that's really cool. So I'm really excited to get into the second year of my 5-year. So then I am going to be continuing my 𝘍𝘠𝘠𝘰 photo a day, except I don't know if I'm going to continue it in a 𝘍𝘠𝘠𝘰. I really love the A6 size. I love how chunky it's getting. It really does not bother me at all that it's getting hard to write. I just flip the pages and realign where the flat opening is by doing this to the spine and, you know, writing it like that. So I don't keep this spine as the normal spine. I got pictures here. So yeah, I always just readjust it and I have no problems writing. So my thing is that I want to be able to put bigger photos and more ephemera. So what I'm thinking is to upgrade into an A5 size, but not an A5 𝘍𝘠𝘠𝘰. I actually plan on moving into an A5 Kinbor. I'm just really nervous because I haven't seen an A5 Kinbor chunk up. I just hope that the binding is as strong as 𝘍𝘠𝘠𝘰. I 100% would not do a photo a day in a cousin, because I do not need the weekly pages, nor do I want to cut them out. That just would bother me. I wouldn't want to cut them out because that look would just bother me. I couldn't do it. I really love the Kinbor dated because it completely cuts out the weeklies. It has the monthly pages and then it goes straight into dailies. And I love that. And it's funny because I said I would never buy a tearaway calendar again. The only reason it's correct is because I just pulled off 4 months to get to the correct date. But yes, I have not been using my tearaway calendar, and I've honestly just been throwing away the pages at this point because I'm getting so overwhelmed and stressed with it. I thought I was going to be able to use these in my A6 page, but look, it takes up like the whole page. I've used it a few times as a little kind of tip-in for special events, special occasions. I have one here on my birthday, but other than that, see, it takes up the whole A6 page. So I really could not use it the way that I thought. And so I thought, okay, if I had an A5 page, then I could fit more. Well, I told myself I wasn't going to buy another tearaway calendar. Well, I did, because one of my favorite illustrators, La Dolce Vita, came out with their first tearaway calendar. If I can get this open for you guys to see. But it is a lot smaller. So I could technically still use it in an A6 size. But I do enjoy having a ton of photos. So look how much smaller it is compared to the Mitsutama one. I mean, it's pretty much a fourth. I could, like, 2 of these would be the same surface area of this Mitsutama one. So I'm really happy with this La Dolce Vita one. It's super small. I love the illustrations, and I could fit so much more space, so much room for activities. I could technically still do it in the A6. I actually already have an A6 for 2025 because I was sure I was going to continue it in the A6. So at this time, I'm still undecided. It would look really cool. I also opted for the English version this time because I was getting really annoyed of not knowing what day it was and then journaling on the wrong day and having to tear photos off and messing up the paper. So I opted for the English one this time so that it now says what day of the week it is. And then this page could still, this tearaway calendar still gives me plenty of space. But I think I would have a lot more fun in the A5 size. And as you can see, I like to put multiple pictures in one day, and to the point where I sometimes can't even write. It has 5 photos on that one page. So I don't know, because there are days where sometimes I don't put any photos and I forget because I didn't take a photo that day. Yeah, I'm torn. I still have not decided. I know for sure that I'm going to continue my photo a day journal. I love it so much. If someone could just show me that a really chunky Kinbor A5 held up really nicely and the spine did not split or break, I would full send it in this with no regrets, no looking back, no problems. I'm just worried to put in so much time and effort and printing photos and using Techo for it to crap out on me and then having to go back and try and backlog. I don't know. I could just do them at the same time. That's just way too much work. I don't think I could double journal, doing the same pictures, writing the same entries in both sizes in anticipation of this breaking. I don't. I think I just need to have faith in this. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't break on me. But I think I could have a lot of fun in this. So wish me luck. Please forward me any proof that a Kinbor A5 can handle the chunk like this can. Like, just look how reliable that spine is. I mean, granted, I'm not like throwing it around and chucking it. I'm still very careful with it, but I use it. I don't baby it. I am really pushing it to its limits, and I'm having so much fun. So that's my plan. So again, I am continuing my 5-year journal, continuing my photo a day journal in who knows what size, hoping that the A5 will last and take on the chunk. If it does, I have no use for this. Will I get rid of it? No. Will I probably use it for something else and then abandon it? Yes. Who knows? No promises there. But honestly, other than that, that's it. I have learned to not bite off more than I can chew because of my experience from 2024. I am keeping it the same for 2025. I am carrying over my home management plotters, carrying over this habit of my 𝘍𝘠𝘵𝘳𝘠s, except using a Kinbor A5. I have these available to me if I want, if I need a place to just be creative and not write, and if I need a place to write and not have to worry about aesthetics and looks, even though I do still make it pretty. For Traveler's Company notebooks, I am not doing any dated inserts. Absolutely none. though I did purchase the 2025 ones. I purchased the monthly one, literally just for the sticker set. Also because I just wanted to see if I could get the free leather tag, but I didn't order from the USA site because $75 to get that free tag is a ridiculous amount of money when those inserts for 2025 diary are only about $7 to $10. I would have had to spend a lot of money on other accessories just to get that free leather tag. I actually waited and just asked if my family could get a free leather tag for me in Japan because the minimum spend threshold is a lot less. You actually only have to purchase 3 diary items, which could add up anywhere between $10 to $15 minimum to be eligible for the free tag. The only problem is they ran out of all free tags. So my parents did pick up for me the 2025 diary. Let me see if I can grab them quickly. The 2025 monthly in regular size and then in passport size as well. So that's all I have as far as dated inserts go. Here we go. So this is what I have for dated inserts from Traveler's Company for 2025. I use this in my passport wallet, and I do want to use this for something. I just don't have an idea yet. I don't think I'm going to use it the same way that I did before for memory keeping. I think I might use this as like a eating out tracker, like writing in the places we eat out, because something my husband and I are going to work on in 2025 is eating out less. We eat out way too much. So not exactly like a fun memory keeping thing, but more of an accountability insert. So we'll see how that goes. This I use for appointments and special dates, travel dates, and things like that in my wallet. So more functional planner instead of journal memory keeping. Let's see then. So this is pretty much my 2025 lineup right here. Well, no, this does not really count. This is more so in my wallet. See, I don't know what counts and what doesn't count. I guess it counts if it's brand new for 2025. Anything that I'm carrying over, I'm not really going to count, even though it's been in my system, it's into play. Nothing's brand new, I should say that. Let me get this out of here for the glare. But yeah, I'm not adding anything brand new. Everything's pretty much just carrying over. I just have to be more realistic with my lifestyle, what chapter of my life I am in, and that is that I have a lot of young kids who take up all of my time and energy. And anytime I have for my hobby, I need to be strategic. I cannot backlog 5 dated journals. You know, that's just something that I've learned this year. It's been a hard truth and hard reality, and such a night and day, because if you have followed me, even for just a little while that you saw my life in Italy, I had a lot of time being a stay-at-home mom on a military base in a rural part of Italy. So that's that. And now I am back in a very busy city in Southern California, living in a multi-generational house next to and close to other family. So a lot of my free time goes to family bonding, which is great. It's what I wished for and hoped for my family and I for 2025. I just didn't think that my journaling habits and hobby would change. And I don't know why I didn't think that, because I picked up the journaling hobby because I had so much time in Italy. And now I have slowly had to pull back from my journaling hobby because I have less time. So I really do miss all the things that I was able to do, like daily journaling, like having a million project journals. And so now I am minimizing to what I know I can handle. I do have a lot of my project journals still in my Traveler's Company notebooks. I still have my coffee and beverage journal. I have my stationary meetup journal anytime I'm meeting with a journal friend. Any stationary events, I document that and memory keep for it. Of course, travel journals, I just haven't traveled anywhere recently. So that's pretty much what my Traveler's Company journals have become, my project journals. So that's pretty much it for my 2025 lineup. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my Techo Kaigi and what the process has been for me and how I am getting to my lineup for 2025. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments. Don't be shy. I'm always happy to answer any questions. But thank you so much for your time and your support and for getting to the end of this video. I would love to hear what your Techo Kaigi is. I'd love to hear if there's any profound insight that you've learned about yourself and your journaling journey this year. For me, it's that I can't have too many dated journals. I often bite off more than I can chew, and I need to accept that I have a limit. I thought I was limitless, but no, I have a capacity, and I need to respect that boundary for myself so that I can enjoy journaling to its fullest by not overwhelming myself and taking on more journals and projects. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.